So here we are again, another QA video, just trying to get to all the questions that everybody asked. So let's get right into it, shall we? Next question here. This one also comes again from Tim Harper. What were some of your experiences with running playing open games like Games Day and at conventions? Honestly, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Again, like what I said in my in the other QA video. About I love the fact that it was that the gaming should be able to bring people together, just so you have that kind of melding of minds. Running at Games Day at the Gasp Game Days, or running at our at conventions like we have at GaspCon every year, which you can find out more about at www.gaspgamer.com and also www.gaspcon.com. I like the fact that in those situations, it's kind of a grab bag. It's kind of a gamer's potluck, if you will. Sometimes you have an idea of who you're going to have at the table. Sometimes you don't, and it's really great. It's really fun to be able to use that not only to meet new people, to meet new gamers, get together and network out. From there, meet up with other people that you probably wouldn't normally be able to contact or get together with. And work out new and exciting game groups from there. And again, one thing that I love doing, especially in things like having open game days or at conventions, is I love running the same scenario or the same game for totally different sets of people, because I guarantee you every time you will wind up in a different place than you did before. So thanks again for that, Tim. What else we got? Right here, this is from my brother Azareth Stryffe. What was your favorite Azareth moment, and what was your favorite moment of mine in character that wasn't an Azareth moment? Okay. I would have to say, and this may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people out there without the full 2 years of background context that this would require for everyone to fully understand. But my favorite Azareth moment was when he proved to everyone, especially me as the GM, that he was in fact what the old Crusaders used to refer to as a perfect knight. He was absolutely purely good and absolutely purely incorruptible when he did not use his influence to save the woman he loved from being executed. Long story short on that, for anybody out there who actually may be interested, in the end, they were able to save her from being executed, and in their own way, they lived happily ever after. You have to understand, the character Azareth Stryffe actually is a paladin cavalier, which is a big deal in old second edition D&D, which is like the way we run. The way we play. So he's not just a paladin like straight out of the book. He's a paladin cavalier. He's actually has a full blown character class revolving around being a knight of the realm. And with that comes a great deal of power and responsibility. And suffice to say, the woman that he was in love with was accused of and convicted of committing multiple acts of murder, for which she was going to be executed. He had the power. He had the physical and legal right by virtue of the fact that he was a knight of the realm. He was one of the king's knights, basically, given the right to mete out justice in the name of the king, all that good stuff. He had the right to basically declare her innocent, but she was found guilty in a court of law, as far as it goes in the medieval society, and he did not use his influence to get her out of it, and it's because he was a lawful good knight. He wasn't only a good man. He wasn't only a good man. He had sworn to uphold the law. He sworn to uphold the king's law, and by the king's law, she was found guilty and sentenced to be executed. But like I said, in their own way, they lived happily ever after that. You have to understand, and it's a classic case of opposites attract. He was, like I said, a paladin cavalier. She was an assassin. Well, that's just what happens when evil falls in love with stupid. So. My favorite moment of yours that wasn't an Azareth moment was probably when you were playing Drake in the Star Wars game. And just to give everybody an idea of what happened, as we all know, Jedi in Star Wars, they have the ability to deflect blaster bolts and stuff with their lightsabers and whatnot. He actually managed to redirect a massive blaster bolt that was actually coming down from a ship in orbit and standing right at the epicenter of what would have been the explosion and mass destruction. He managed to deflect it back into orbit at the ship, and basically won the day. After that, the battle was over. And he didn't necessarily do it by dice alone. He played it smart, and he called upon the Force to help guide him and all that good stuff. And it was one of the best things I've ever seen, because it was one of the first times that I saw him play really, really smart, and basically really, really accept the fact in that setting, for a Jedi, through using the Force, all things are possible. So, which is something, whenever I run a Star Wars game, is always something that is always kind of a reoccurring theme that I try to drive home to everybody. So thanks for that. I hope that makes you happy. Okay, this is a good one. I actually put these two together because they're somewhat related. Tim Harper asks, have you ever had to kick a friend out that was a terrible gamer from one of your groups? And on a related note, Tom Brooks also asks, how do you handle a player that repeatedly knocks dice / cheats despite warnings? Realistically, they're gone. In answer to Tim's questions, yes, I've had to kick friends out for that, and in answer to Tom's question, they are gone. That's it. That's it. Despite warnings, if they're lucky enough to ever get a warning from me, realistically, when you come in and sit down at the table, that's something you should know, right off the bat. But I know exactly what he's referring to here when it says there, thanks to a fireplace and the ceremonial death of a party member. Without getting into too much detail about that, yeah, that's exactly actually right there. That's exactly what we did. Not only did we lay that character to rest, we torched all of his characters. Little extreme, but and it had to be there, and it's just that simple. Just that simple. Find you cheating, you're gone. Okay, great. This one comes from another guy I used to game with in Texas. His name is Matthew Peavy. He asks, how do you properly shun a player like this? Shun! For those in the audience to know, someone out there just died. Yeah, they just fell over dead. That's how it works. So, thanks, Matt, if you're still alive. Okay. William Dilbeck asks, put in two questions. How do you maintain interest in a game that you yourself have lost interest in? How do you fix that? And also, how do you feel about the state that vampires are in today? Going from monster of the night to sparkling love goons has probably not been an easy transition. What will you do to return them to glory? First, how do I maintain interest in a game that I have lost interest in? Realistically, just try to keep at it for a little bit longer, and try to bring it to a decent stopping point. And after that, if you really, really have to, if you have to, just lay it to rest, and unfortunately sometimes never pick it up again, which does happen. I'm sure a lot of people have had experiences with that. Sometimes games just fall to the wayside and we never get together again, either for that particular game or with that particular group of people. It sucks, but it does happen. How do I fix that? If I've realistically, I have to admit, if I myself, and it hasn't happened very often, but it has happened. If I myself have lost interest in a game, then there's very little I can actually do to fix it. So again, like I said, I just try to bring it to a decent stopping point. Concerning the state of vampires today, oh man, this is something that quite a few of us have actually debated, most heatedly argued about several times and whatnot. But what would I do to return them to glory? Give me just a moment here. Right now I'm going to dictionary.reference.com, and here we go. Okay.
Vampire.
Hope you can hear that. All right. They define vampire as a preternatural being commonly believed to be a reanimated corpse that is said to suck the blood of sleeping persons at night. In Eastern European folklore, a corpse animated by an undeparted soul or demon that periodically leaves the grave and disturbs the living until it is exhumed and impaled or burned. And also they define vampire as a person who preys ruthlessly upon others. Okay, well, actually, I think that says it all right there. That's exactly what I would do in order to return vampires to glory. I would strongly suggest to anyone to check out some old monster movies, particularly either Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee playing as Dracula. And just remind our audiences out there that they are in fact fucking monsters. And that they stalk the night seeking blood. Not because it's cool, not because it's sexy, but because they've been damned and cursed to do so for all eternity until the heroes stop them. That's pretty much it right there. One thing that I love to do with vampires in a game, unless of course we're talking about playing Vampire the Masquerade, which I hate to admit, I have not done. I have done in the past, when I was a whiny, angsty teenager, but have not done for a good number of years now. I would put them into a game and make sure that everybody understands that they are monsters. Make sure everybody understands that they are the bad guys. They are an unholy blight set upon humanity or whatever race you have out there. Dwarven kind, elven kind, Vogonity, whatever. And that they must be stopped and they must be wiped out, which is exactly why on one of my worlds we have what are called the Dagon Night Rangers. They are worshippers of the goddess Daga, who is the goddess of light and purity. And what they do is they operate at night, hence the name Night Rangers, and they actively go out and they hunt vampires. And on a lot of my worlds and a lot of my games, a lot of people actually aspire to become part of their order. And as far as old or even new D&D is concerned, they are essentially rangers, and undead and or vampires are their hated enemy. So there you go. Little off track there, but back to my original point. That's exactly what I would do, is remind everybody that they are monsters that have to be destroyed, and in doing so, basically display all of these supernatural powers, gifts, and horrible fucking things they can do to normal people. You little shit. Okay, this next question is from my brother. By that I mean actual relative, blood brother. Son of my mother, brother, Lance Quirk. In reference to your latest video, the tattoos, they're fake, aren't they? Well, actually, as a matter of fact, the joke is on you. As you can see, these are in fact real tattoos on a real sleeve. So there. They were a Christmas gift from my mom, actually, and that's why I started wearing them, for whenever she ever starts checking out these videos. Actually, she got me these for Christmas last year. The Christmas before that, she got me a Cylon toaster. She basically whatever nifty gadget or fun toy she sees the nerds on Big Bang Theory getting or having, whatever. That's what she gets me for Christmas. So I figure I'm a couple Dalek toys and a Batman cookie jar away from having a whole collection. So thank you for that. You little shithead. All right, so there you go. Thanks again, everybody, for the questions. Please keep them coming. I'll be doing more of these. Q&A videos in the future. I would like to let everybody know that my next video, the next Q&A video I do, is actually going to be dedicated to. Not only dedicated to, but strictly dedicated to, if you catch my meaning, to a very, very good friend of mine who actually sent in 3 very, very long-winded questions, and all of which are probably going to take quite a bit of explaining to figure out. All of which are going to take quite a bit of explaining. So yes, my next Q&A video is going to be dedicated to one very, very special lady in my life, a woman who I love very much, goes by the name of Mary Beth, and who in fact is the GM, one of my favorite players, and who is in fact the GM who originally turned me on to 7th Sea. So be on the lookout for that. So that's it for now. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gabriel Stryffe, coming at you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Aquitas Veritas Bellatus.